How do you deal with the witness, that just won't answer your question, the defense paid opinion witness that, especially so many of the times they want to do it, the trial testimony by depo, there's no trial judge there to force them to answer the questions. Um, and so they just play games and they won't answer your questions. What do you do about that?
Well, I mean, I think that's always going to be a challenge. I mean, you've got to videotape those all the time. I've found, and maybe there are portions of that you can use at trial that show that the witness is simply being obstinate. And what I think is really important when you have those types of witnesses is you ask very, very simple layperson type questions that a jury would be asking, because when you're asking those kinds of questions that you think, okay, a jury's going to want to know these basic things, and if the witness is refusing to cooperate or even refusing to concede to very basic things, the jury's going to get frustrated with them, and they're going to say, hey, I've got that question in the back of my mind too, and he won't even answer that question, or she won't even answer that question. I think it kind of plays in your favor when you can. The reality is, if you've got an uncooperative witness, you've got to do what you can to get what you can out of them. But sometimes what I think those depositions can reveal pre-trial is that witness is not going to make a very good witness on the stand, and it helps the defense counsel evaluate the case from the perspective of, maybe this isn't somebody that I'm going to want to call. Maybe my case isn't as good as I thought it was, because this witness makes such a crappy presenter.
Yeah. A couple of things I try to keep in mind is, one, if it's a depo, you choose what questions to play. So even though it's frustrating for you to have to ask the question 10, 12 different times before you get an answer, you don't have to share that entire frustrating process with the jury. You can just play the parts where you get the answer. If you're going to do that, though, you have to have the self-awareness and composure to not get mad and frustrated, because if it's just like, damn it, doctor, can you just say yes or no? And, that doesn't play well. And so you have to, just keep calm and ask it over and over. The other thing I found, and it works best with a witness that's been deposed a lot, and or you've really, really thought out your case. But I get a series of true and false questions and print them out and show them on an Elmo, doctor, true or false, and and make them fair true or false questions. So the one I think of, there's a radiologist down in Harlingen, Texas, that will not answer a straight question typically, and he really puffs up his credentials, and he I think he got run out of the radiology group he's with. I could never get a straight answer on why he's no longer with them, but he claimed he's just making money testifying lawsuits. The last time I deposed him, and he claimed to have been teaching at the medical school there. And then, so, I'd read enough depos about him, and I'd done some public record inquiries into his background to find out what he was doing. So, isn't it true, true or false, Dr., I'm not going to say his name, Dr. B does not get paid for teaching at any medical school? Yeah. True or false, Dr. B does not teach radiology to radiology residents? True or false, Dr. B does not teach radiology to medical doctors? True or false, Dr. B, on an unpaid basis, teaches radiology to medical assistant students? And you get it down there, and he'll hem and haw, but true or false, is it true or not? And then you go into the steps of the case. True or false, you can have an MRI that does not show pain. True or false, you have no opinion as to whether or not the car crash caused this pain.
I love that idea, Michael, and I think that the Zoom depo would lend itself really well to that kind of questioning, because you can share screen and put those true or false questions up there. You don't even have to check them off as you're going along, because the jury can be checking them off in their mind as the doctor or the witness is testifying. So I like the idea of doing that.
It's best to try to get the witness to, when you're doing them live, to get the witness to sign them if they will. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. But that's really nice, because you get these great trial exhibits. But that's the great thing I like about the true and false is that then we can use them with other witnesses. We can use them at closing. If they have multiple witnesses, we can, find questions. We have 3 or 4 witnesses agree that something's true that we want to say is true. So it's a lot of fun to do that.